Okay. I'm gonna turn the music down just a skosh, just a wee bit, just like. Okay. Hopefully that's good. Hopefully that's good. I've been working on like gradually tuning it down, gradually tuning the music down. So that way we can all still enjoy my preferred playlist here. But, you know, not trying to compete with my own music. Audio mixing. Very important for a audience, especially mine. Lucky, thank you so much for the 100 biddies. Thank you, thank you. Callan, thank you so much for dropping a lurk. And thank you people for stretching with me. I got. I'm a little sore because I was in the kitchen all day. Well, maybe not like all day, but for like a significant portion of my day. I was doing that thing where I was pre-making breakfast for my husband. We realized how much money he spends just buying breakfast on his way to work every day. So it's like, well, we can actually save quite a bit of money if I spend like just, you know, an hour, like 40 minutes to an hour, making him breakfast at home. And making him wraps that he can reheat in the microwave and just take with him. It'll save him time, hopefully, with not needing to stop by and wait in a line to get the breakfast and all that. So, just another way that I am earning my keep as the housewife. Alright. Do this properly? Let's do this properly. Hey there, heroes! My name is Hero Girl. I'm your friendly local neighborhood hero tuber. And I'm also a professional idea haver. Today is April 29th. It is a Wednesday, and this is the daily grind. This is that time of the day where we grind our dailies. I got a special announcement, chat. I got a special announcement. That thing that I've been talking about for the past couple weeks, we're gonna do it tomorrow. It's happening. It's happening, chat. It's happening. Tomorrow, we are gonna have our first, I guess you could call it a collab, but you know. We're gonna do some couple streaming. We're gonna do some streaming with wife. So excited. Got her Fugi done this week. She likes it. We talked a bit about what we want to do. We're gonna try a setup where she plays on my husband's computer. Because then we don't have to deal with any sort of like mic audio issues where my microphone picks her up or her microphone picks me up. Mine's a little easier because, you know, I have OBS filters and gateways that filter out a lot of noise. Hers doesn't because, you know, she's streaming on, gonna be talking through headset mic. So tomorrow we're gonna spend an hour just trying it out, see how I feel about it, and hopefully that leads to some more wife streaming later on. And for our first stream, we're gonna try some Night Rain. We're gonna try Night Rain tonight. Get some practice games in to see how the arrangement feels. And then tomorrow we'll start the stream with some Night Rain. Won't that be fun? And then Friday will be like, you know, your normal Final Fantasy Friday Pro. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to those dailies. You need to cast blue and black spells. You need to cast red and white spells. Cast one more red spell. You know, I only need to cast like, and I need to like modify some of these blue decks. Flow state is as fucked up as we thought it was, so I need to like start putting it into more of the decks I'm running. Definitely something like Matoya, even though Matoya like you'd probably get by without it. Like flow state is just really fucking good. You could get like a slow red card out. Actually, you know what? There's another deck that I've been wanting to tune up and mess around with for a hot second. Even though ostensibly we need to play some blue and black. Where did Captain Howler go? Captain Howler. Oh, did I take that? Oh, nope, it's right here. Okay. I was worried for a second that I'd given up on the deck and taken it apart, but nope, it's right here. Excellent, excellent. Yep, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to put in flow state, and then we're going to make sure that we have our copies of Force and Days. Absolutely. All right, so I'm trying to, if I remember correctly, did I put? Honestly, artifacts like Ponder, just good enough, ubiquitous, because they're just like generically powerful enough that we can probably afford to cut off a couple of the energy cards. Like, ta-da, Magma Open. I haven't really been use that card like hardly at all. Overlord the Flood. Been how many creatures? Already not like actually. Oh, this is actually Rangren. You need to tap. Whenever she becomes tapped, I draw a card, then discard a card. Because Unholy Hate's not bad. Wait, hold on, what? I thought Unholy Hate got nerfed. Did it get unnerfed? Yeah, Unholy Hate deals 6 damage now. But like, the Alchemy version was 4 damage. Huh, I must have missed that. Unholy Hate's back on the menu, boys. Make sure that this is, yep, this is still Brawl. This is the right format. Okay, hot damn. Miscalc, Mana Leak. Miscalc has some utility here because it cycles. It's a Ghostly Pilfer. There's we were just like, these are found real. Glory Revealed, Oliphant, boom. Secretly one draws because we're really just using cycle. Info Polarity is still fucked up. We're not taking that out, obviously. Alright, command. No, I didn't. How many of these have I actually? These can I pick out? Kaido still. I use Praise and Borrow as a bounce. Frantic Search, good. What? My Frantic Search! What have they done to my Frantic Search? There we go. Get the correct version of Frantic Search in there. Very important, very important. I would, if this wasn't a heckin' mythic wild card, I would craft the alternative, like a Heartbeat. I'm just waiting to see if like they do a re-release at slightly lower rarity. Fear, Raking Claws, Shredding Sails, Battle Rage, just there, hold on, there was a oh no, I'm thinking of a red white card. There's a red white card in Strixhaven that lets you discard a draw on resolution. Nothing else in here that I'm looking forward to, right? Like I don't need to worry about Pongifies, Preordained, in the Sleight of Hands, nothing like that. Yeah, Stock Up is here. But if we can get Captain Howler going, that is off. So really what we're looking at is Hydro Channel with casting some. Get some of the Jancy does also just like do a discard and then draw, and it's a pretty big creature. Like we don't even care about the Oracle's Gift part of her, but at the same time I would be running Cure if I was actually interested, something like that. Holiness, Wisdom. I think there would be some good cards in. Not that there's any like Prism. Although I guess like the Tablet of Discovery is kind of, we're not like spells. We are cycling. it. There's Mari Chart. This is Surveil and Draw. Also bounce. 1 damage to each creature. The target, tap up to one creature. Vibrant Outburst seems like it seems like the red-blue lightning. You know what I mean? The instant sorcery gets counter. We're not really looking for those. Draw a card, activate. Only have 7 more in hand. The Resonating Loot is literally an artifact version of Library of Alexandria. Keep forgetting that we have Library of Alexandria. Energy attack. You may draw a card. If you do, discard. Oh, there's also like a 5/4, but Stress Stream. Draw 3, then discard 2. Add a bunch of mana. Orange Dragon. This one is also like discard, but it's look at the top 2, put 1 to your hand, and then put the other into your graveyard. It reminds me of the Magnet's card that we just cut. Draw 2, discard. Damage to any target. Okay, yeah. So maybe it's just like Vibrant Outburst as like generic removal, but I don't know that we need to go that far just yet. I mean, what's our creature? I know we have 18 creature. I don't really want to cut creatures because we are so creature light. That is a little bit of an issue with Howler. We are a little creature light. Maybe we want to go a little bit higher on creatures. Maybe we want to cut the Illumination, even though that is a 1 mana cycler. First Strike and Trample. The planes, I like Ido and the Royal Scions. They both do different things that really help out a lot, so let's leave those. I want to leave the vehicle. By damage target creature or planeswalker, that's pretty big. Loop, Prismari Command, Burt, Stink, Force. The Drake Haven has also been like a good payoff card. Like if we think about payoffs, yeah, Captain Howler's a payoff, but then there is also like the Drake Haven and then the Improbable Alliance. He helps push through damage. Smuggler Copter, good. Arcane Signet, good. Actually, hold on. We're not fucking with any of the talismans, right? I remember okay, yeah. Talisman of Creativity. Okay. We're just doing a bit of rebuild right here. I want to make this deck good to go. We don't need the Phyrexian Scrapyard. I can tell you that much. And I don't think we need Sanitarium. I think we have enough Enabler. Let's just go ahead and we'll play an extra island and an extra mountain. I think to remember those colorless cards actually just like fucking us up quite a bit too. So that helps. We want to make sure that we're not cutting out of our creatures. Then the Frantic Search, draw 2, discard 2, untap up to 3 lands. Maybe. Go ahead and we'll cut that. Actually, we can go ahead and cut the... I want to cut the spell piece. Cut the stubborn out. It was in there because Captain Howler is a 5 mana card, but now we just like have so much free counter-actually that we don't need it as... Double Strike is there for good. Spike Field Hazard, good. Shove Aside, good. Lightning Axe, also good. Currency Converter. Whenever you discard a card, you may exile that card from your graveyard. Pay 2, draw a card, then discard a card. Tap, put a card exiled with this artifact into its owner's graveyard. If it's a land, you make a treasure. If it's a non-land, you make a 2/2 rogue. There's also that. Notably, we're not running the guy that lets us play stuff if discard. So if we can find like a second card to cut for that, I think we're feeling pretty good. Like actually cut through a possibility and also cut demand answers. And then it's a 2 mana artifact. Scroll through, apparently. apparently, when you put in artifact and creature, it doesn't bring up artifacts and creature. There we go. Yeah, the scrapwork enters and discards and then draws. That's also like pretty good. That would give us a bit more of a creature count. But I am looking specifically for... Oh, Containment Construct is already in here? Oh yeah, he is. Okay. The red herring, sack at the draw. Just double check to see if we have like any other creature loot. Head. Card draw. Yeah, the Moon Circuit Hacker, but this Moon Circuit Hacker doesn't do it the way that we want to. Yeah, there's a Merfolk Looter. Sure, I'm just gonna like that better than Scrapwork Mutt. Probably. Yeah, there's Jace. Yeah, there's Jessica's the Jeskai Elite. We don't really want like the ones that do it when they deal damage is the thing. Ashland Rekindled. I would like to put this card in. Rather than draw whenever there's a Cax. Yeah, okay. Haven't put in Ashland yet, so let's go ahead and we'll craft her. Pull out the... Sure. We'll go play. I always feel just a wee bit more invested in a deck when I feel like I've got work to do on it. I absolutely adore playing decks like Garland and Montoya. But those are already solved decks. I like to play with my toys for a bit, then put them back in the box. Wow, okay. Wash Away, Mana Leak, Skyray, Drake Haven, and we get to go first. Against Zero and Hazaret. Legends Matter? Red Aggro? Legend Alt Red White All Stars? Lead off on Arena of Glory. Because we're not gonna have blue coming up right away. Got Drake Haven. I've got a Skyray I think I can play. Faithless Looting? Why? As long as you have one or fewer cards in hand, Vigilance and Ace. They could be playing sort of red-white Reanimator if they're playing Kozilek. I'm gonna hold off just momentarily. I don't need to play the Skyray just yet. Yeah. As much as I would love to develop the Drake Haven, we're just not in the timeline where I can do that. I might even use the Prismari command. Make a treasure. I'll use it to dig through some stuff. Say no to the Tajik. Okay. What are you up to? They have like a Hexing Sculpture or Voice of Victory that fucks with my counter. Alright. So I'm gonna draw, and I'm also going to draw and then just... There's the land and a daze. Let's drop Drake Haven and Skyray. Storm Carved. I am like actually really soft right now to any sort of Blood Moon effect, so let's just go ahead and get a basic island. That also lets me use my days now. If they had Swords of Plowshares, that gets around Captain Howler. Or so you would think. Because if they go Swords to Plowshares, pay the cost, and then I daze. Alright, Mephit's Enthusiasm. They can pay the ward costs. Now we go ahead and we bounce this island back to hand. And apparently that's enough for a concession. That feels really fast. Because I did not actually keep anything that was going to like get me going. Instead of dropping the Skyride, maybe it would have been correct to like drop the Mana Leak. Or maybe like drop the Broadside Barrage. I feel like that's actually hard to say now. No, I think I was supposed to drop... I was going to tap up for Howler. Maybe I was supposed to drop the Barrage and go for the... and keep the Cycling Creature. So that way I can start getting Howler going and try and dig in more stuff. We'll never know what I could have hit off the Ponder. Ponder probably smooths a lot of that over. And then I can just like beat, deal 5 to their face every turn while I hold up Wash Away and Mana Leak, but who knows. True, I didn't use Arena of Glory to cast Captain Howler. I could have, and I probably should have even. Hey, Lovey. And GG. Okay. That's our first one for the day, so we get... Yo! Okay, that's huge. That's huge. It feels like it's been a while, but we get 2 mythics that we didn't have before, and these are both really good ones. This one's got a regrowth staple to it. This one's literally the Prismari Dragon. It gives your instants and sorcery storm, so like, absolutely. Now watch me pull another one from the pack. Oh, it's a Death Cap Glade. Okay. Crunchy, crunchy, crunchy. Crunch your knuckles. Shadowfax, show us the meaning of the word haste. Shadowfax, whenever it attacks, they can put a creature with lesser mana power from their hand onto battlefield tapped and attacking. I have just been punched in the face by a Shadowfax deck and like died before. Which is part of why, even though we have a currency converter, this is a really greedy hand for a currency converter. I'm going to throw that back. Much better, much better. Go ahead, keep this 7. Lead off on Thundering Falls. See if we can hit another untapped land. Love it. I've got Force here where I probably pitch to the Ghostly Pilferer. I might pitch it to the Pilferer here. Because what I would like to do... That's tricksy, actually. That's a little tricksy. I would love to find a different card to pair with the Ponder. Got 1, 2, 3. I could try using this as my land. Unholy Heat, Spell Pierce, and Oliphant. Okay. So then... let's leave it in that order, because I think the Spell Pierce is going to be relevant. And I will play a tapped land. I'm going to try and avoid shuffling well after I hit that Spell Pierce. Alright, they're just going to go with a Mind Stone. That's fine. Do I care about the Oliphant? Probably not. And in fact, this is a scenario where I can go Ghostly Pilferer now. By Force of Will, I would have to pitch the Spell Pierce to make it work. But now I can cycle away this Oliphant and... do I actually want to cycle away the Oliphant? I don't know that I think I hold the Oliphant so I can start triggering Captain Howler. Yeah. We are going to go ahead and we're going to grab our basic here. I can discard a card. Wait, no, I already have the Ghostly Pilferer, so what am I thinking? 1, 2, 3, 4. I can counter Shadowfax if I need to, but if they have any sort of haste, that's also a problem. Unholy Heat doesn't deal enough. Lightning Bolt doesn't deal enough. You know what? YOLO! Discard Bolt. Alright, pass the turn. Alright, shields are down. They can go ahead and cast Shadowfax. I draw a card. I don't hit what I want, but I do still have Spell Pierce here to throw him off tempo. And that's enough for them to scoop too. At least I feel like it's a little bit more understandable here. I get, like, obviously they don't know what's in my hand, but I do have, like, Ghostly Pilfer on board to get Captain Howler going. That's going to be 7 life. And then I get to untap and potentially draw into more counter magic. Like, that's just how it goes. GG. These free counter spells, I'm telling you. Actually, if you're thinking about free counter spells, why aren't we running the... Feels like if we can resolve a blue creature and then we can, like, use that to pay for a flare. Harrier Strix actually just has, like, draw then discard. Is an early turn card. Yeah, there's 3 steps ahead, which is instant, but let me just, like, see what our options. Because, yeah, Merfolk Looter does also do that. Kitsa I like because Kitsa has Vigilance. We're looking for cards that can repeatedly do it. If you cast an instant sorcery, draw a card, then discard a card unless 5 or more mana was spent to cast that spell. That's not what we're not looking for, like, conditional triggers. Enters are too slow because it makes the timing awkward. We don't want to have to pay mana. Jace. Weirdly enough, Jace transforming into a Planeswalker is a downside. Discard a creature card, then draw. That's also not. It's wild to me that Merfolk Looter is still, like, just the best option. Actually kind of silly. Modern Ages with her. We're not... Champion of Wits. So a lot of these are just, like, when they come into play. Draw then discard. Like, repeatable looting is actually just really powerful in an environment. We are looking at the... Oh, hold on. I sneezed. Okay. Maybe we attack for a pirate and if you go attack in this combat, that's additional. I don't think they put it in. The Stadium Time Mage is new. Enters or attacks, you draw a card. If you card a card, maybe. Like, honestly, just even... Drakehaven feels like it just takes so much setup. Like, theoretic. So, Drakehaven is a 3 mana payment up front, and then it costs 1 on top of any of the cycling that you have to make 2/2s. I've just never been in a situation where I like Drakehaven. Unlike Improbable Alliance, where all you have to do is, like you said it, start making a bunch of dudes. But even then... Take out the Improbable Alliance. That makes both of our that puts both of our creatures into the board. Then on top of that, we would cut 1 more. I still maintain that we have plenty of, like, draw and then cycling to card enablers. The Sweltering Sun is for if we get paired up against a aggro deck that can actually get underneath us. Captain Howler can be just a wee bit slow for my taste. Adding in the Talisman of Creativity should help with that a bit, but also it cycles. So, like I always say, don't play Wraths in your creature decks, and we are trying to be a slightly creature heavier deck, but this one does cycles, and we have so much discard that we can afford to play we can sometimes play cards that might not be in good positions because we can just discard those and draw into the ones that are good. We have Artifact, Planeswalker, Instant Sorcery, Creature Land. Yeah, we have plenty of card types for delete. That's good. So then I noticed that we're not playing classic things like a Braid. I know the Prismari command can destroy an artifact, but we do have to keep in mind that we're not running some of the more classic good cards. We're trying to go for like synergy. Lightning. Violent Urge. What would we cut? Probably not the Spell Pierce. Lead the Flow State, lead the Miscalc. Actually, maybe cut the Miscalc. Because even though it does cycle, so often in the scenarios where I actually want it to be a counterspell, it's just not good. That's also cutting a blue card for Force. Actually, hold on. Am I running the... I don't think I am, actually. Let me exit out of that real quick. I just realized I should probably consider running a few more of the spell land. Like, what am I not running here? Spell and land that I would normally run. I'm starting to have to run. Yeah, I'm having to start to have to run some of these cards because we're running more pitch cards. The Lundy. Normally it would just be cut 3 islands. That seems a little much for me. I think I'd rather cut... cut this duel that always comes into play tapped. We'll cut 1 basic island. Do I need to cut the Mistrise Village? I will cut 1 more basic island. I just have like so many. There we go. Now I feel a lot better about my blue count. I'm also trying to like get a little bit. I think what I would need to do in order to dedicate a whole hour to playing just the one deck is to accept that sometimes we're not going to be completely clearing out dailies. We should probably have them cleared out by the end of the week. Cycle the Loring Reveal. We have Chain Lightning as well. Sink into Super. Flow State with Monument. Meanwhile, we have Muldrotha coming in. Muldrotha lets them replay stuff from the graveyard. How do I feel about it? Monument to it's a mighty powerful card, but they probably have like a ton of artifact removal. Flow State, though. Flow State makes me want to believe. Alright, yep, that's a Stitcher Supplier. That's gonna load up the graveyard to start with. Pretty good, happy seeing a Delighted Halfling to start. We'll cycle the Loring Revealed. We've also got Spell Pierce up now. Yep, we'll go ahead and take the 1. Not ready to play Flow State yet. Go ahead, cycle the Loring Revealed now. Grab Thundering Falls, right? It might just be grab a basic island, actually. Flare Denial. Okay. I think the Super now turns into a tempo card. Talisman of Curiosity. I don't know that I'm going to get an opportunity to, like, convert to Spell Pierce otherwise. And apparently, that's enough to get a concession. GG, I guess. Next turn, we can like, flow state. Start setting up the Monument to Endurance. Weird. I don't even normally, like... I don't normally see concessions that fast. Now, let's see. That was... I wasn't on the play. Were they going to miss a land drop, actually? Did they keep a 2-lander and then, like, countering the Talisman was going to deny their 3rd mana? Maybe. Lumra. I have Grand, Wash Away. I'm on the draw. Infinite Polarity, Shove Aside helps out a lot. Oliphant. This is good. I like this. I can shoot whatever dork they play. I have Invert Polarity and Wash Away. Invert Polarity has a chance to get around... Can't be countered. Elvish Reclaimer. That's a good card. Is that Delighted Halfling good, though? Like a Dark Depths combo? General rule of thumb is to just get rid of the tutor. Now they can go ahead, they can play a Rampant Growth. Green says Zenith for 1, get the Delighted Halfling. Make... Yep. Yep. Okay. I already have plenty of Mountain. Go ahead and grab our basic. Grand. Pass the turn. Might need this Oliphant to grab my Shockland. Probably a Shock. Yep, there's Cobra. Cobra comes down with a fetch land. Cobra's going to make 2 mana. Halfling is 3rd mana. They can play like a Nissa. Carpet of Flowers. Okay. Yeah, that is also like really big mana for them. They might even just like... Yeah, they do get to like 1 mana now. Someone Safekeeper. Yep. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're guaranteed Lumra next turn. So I'm going to have to count on a 50-50 shot. Oh, god damn it. I was supposed to... Okay. I messed up. I just got bailed out hard. So then... Drop this. Yeah, I got bailed out big time. We'll just pretend that I'm holding these for Howler. Yep. So they get 1. Getting the fetch land here is huge. Alright, I'm willing to take that coin flip. If we don't get it, then I guess we rely on Captain Howler power. Titania! I mean, with the Sylvan Safekeeper, that turns into what? 5 3/3s? That's unfortunately something I don't want them to have. So, here's a coin toss. Do we get the 50-50? All right, sweet. Now I get to put a card onto the field. Probably a Flood of Strand. Alright, yep, and then we'll go ahead and we'll cycle this again. Now we get a 5-3, life is great. Grab Thundering Falls, I'm not going to cycle away Oliphant. Ghostly Pilferer, that's really good here. If I play the Ghostly Pilferer, then what? I can use that to attack it with Howler. I can just play Howler now anyway. And then I can trade Titania for Lotus Cobra and Sylvan Safekeeper. That seems pretty good. They're already getting Lumra. One land? Getting Lumra with one land. Yeah. There's no reason. This is whenever a land you control is put into your grave. You have flying. This has reach, so we don't care about that. And then let's make it so that way grave. I want to make this so that way we can kind of draw cards regardless. And then, like, it just doesn't matter, right? Like, we already know that we're not going to actually be able to counter anything they play. Lumra can only block one thing. At some point, the Carpet of Flowers won't matter. Currently, they have 7 mana to the disposal. There's a lot of, like, just huge haymakers that they can play out. Looks like they might be going for a Lumra play. Yeah, they're going to go for a Lumra. Alright, Lumra happens. Lumra mills 2 lands, and Lumra's going to be a 5/5. But, like, that's not nothing. I can attack with everything. Yeah, I can attack with everything, trade with Lumra. Feels pretty good about that. This does matter for, like, delirium purposes, unfortunately. The exile. They have anything to follow up that? They do not. Donde está la counterspell? There's... I think I'm just going to go combat. I've got like 1, 2 cyclers here. Yeah. Attack with everything except Howler. I mean... yeah, attack. Green happens. Oh, I don't mind holding up Force of Will just in case something happens. If that's going to be the case, let's get rid of the Disruption. This is +2. Put on the token. Umura can eat. Anya pretty handily, yeah. They probably don't want to, like, get rid of the Safekeeper, because that's how they work with their Illumra, right? Yeah, so then... big damage. Yay! So, cycle away the Oliphant. Cycle, that puts this up to 9. Cycle away the Sky Ray. That puts it up to 11. +1 here with Grand is 10. Means that they can't ever fetch again. And then there's also just the possibility that we can hit another cycling card. So that was kind of a greedy decision there to only block Titania. GG. We had to win the that was luck though. We got lucky there. The getting the Titania off of the polarity, huge, absolutely huge. I keep telling you, chat. Invert Polarity is a fucked up counterspell. Catchermost the New Dawn. Okay. We need to find a way to play super aggressively here. Ragavan is a good reason to hold on to this. With Force Negation backup? Absolutely. Use Wood of the Hills, grab a Shock Land. And I will pitch Unctus. I'll pitch Unctus. I don't even need to. I don't even need to. Apparently even Catchermost decks just like don't like the turn 1 Ragavan. Alright. That is absolutely reasonable. That is if you did not keep a hand expecting a turn 1 Ragavan, you don't feel like getting punched in the face by a monkey several turns in a row because you just like apparently don't have cheap exile interaction, then yeah. Yeah, Dragon Storm. A rare wild card. That could be anything, including a rare. I'm building up a nice stock of rares and mythics. Like now that I am playing daily and consistently getting through my mastery pass and saving up to get just like the huge swath of cards each set, I'm slowly getting to a point where I don't need to spend as many of my wild cards crafting new cards that I want to play with. I guess it helps that there's also just been like several Universes Beyond sets that I don't fuck with. I don't have to actually like craft anything from them. So in that sense, it's actually pretty great. We're up against Giada, Font of Hope. We're on the play. Why do we have Restless Spire here? I need to cut that out. That hurts our time too much. We have Chain Lightning and Lightning Axe with this and Think of the Stupor. I'll keep it. With Giada, you really just kill Giada on site and then try and hold your bigger burn spells for anything else. I want to surveil. Wait. God damn it. I wanted to play the Scalding Tarn so I could surveil. Whoops. Alright. It's not like I'm casting a 3-drop this turn anyway. So, what does it matter? Yep. And then we do have to like think about Captain Howler potentially running into a Tithe, like a Mana Tithe next turn. Apparently not. Apparently they're just gonna play their Dazzling Angel out, which means that we can get through this like free. Because now they can't Sword Howler and play Giada. God damn it! I grabbed the wrong land again. Okie dokie. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a basic mountain, just in case they're trying to play like any sort of Winter Moon shenanigans. We are really well set up now if we get to untap with Howler. If we get to untap with Howler. Ah, they're playing the One Ring. Okay. Alright, so how do we feel about this? Let's see. Howler says whenever that creature deals damage to a player. So we don't get to do anything with that right now. I think I leave up Sink into Stupor. Yeah, because I want to get Unctus down, but we don't have the setup for that yet. And there is a chance that they just like draw removal for Howler. Yep, they can go ahead. They can draw with their One Ring. That theoretically buries us in card advantage eventually, but not if we just like get them. I don't care about this Dazzling Angel. I care about more the bigger angels that they can drop. Giada. That being said, My turn. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and crack this to grab my Surveil land. Don't want map. In for polarity is a good one. I think I'm going to go ahead and play Unctus. Unctus is free. Go into combat. Attack in. Discard Chivalry. This is where they probably block with the Dazzling Angel because they don't want to take 7 and let me get a free card. Yep. I could just like let Giada stay up, but then I'm worried about them like being able to double spell. So it's really more like, am I willing to drop counter magic? Was I even supposed to like attack with Unctus at all? I don't know that I was supposed to play Unctus. Because using the lightning axe to drop is actually kind of huge. I'm gonna take a risk. It's a quasi risk. This is still instant speed, so if I need to, I can. But they do get to just like 7 mana their Giada. Exemplar of Light. I can bounce that if I need. Yep. They do get a redraw off that. Yep. Giada comes in for 2. Giada gets to come in for 2. That's fine. Don't care about that. They would have to have exactly... Okay, Segovian Angel. That's a reason to go ahead and sink into Stupor Exemplar. Okay, so now they have a couple of 2/2s. They spend their mana to draw 2. That's fine. Don't care. Okay. Now we're in the house. I could shock... I always shock Giada. I always shock Giada. Yeah, now we go combat. Draw, discard the Psycho Land. Put it on Unctus. Now I either deal 5 or I draw. And if they don't, then I'm going to go ahead and cycle away the Sandbar. Actually, you know what? I'm going to cycle the Sandbar anyway. Illusion of Choice. And then, absolutely, I'm going to drop 1 more because I don't want them messing with my Talisman of Creativity. Giada's at 6 mana. She's not going to buff anything anytime soon. Patchwork Banner, don't care about that. Yep, they can buff all their angels all they want. They've got 3 mana left. One Ring is currently dealing 2 damage. Depending on what they do, I might even just like use a lightning axe. Let's see, for Ari's attacks, seek a non-shark card, discard that card beginning of next. Skyclave Apparition. You can't get rid of Howler, but being able to get rid of the One Ring is actually pretty big. So 50-50 shot. So we'll go ahead. They get to draw 3 cards. But now they just like lose the One Ring. No more big draw. Ah, they did have another land. Okay. Faltering Suns. And at this point, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and aim at Captain Howler here. Ah, 5 damage to target creature. Ooh, and we can flow state. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see if we can dig a little bit more. Shove aside Fiery Islet, and I like Brainstorm. Yeah, we'll grab both of those. Wait, no, I didn't want to Brainstorm. I wanted to... Why am I, like, hitting the exact thing that I don't want? Okay, sure. Yeah. Actually, let's put back Arius. There's absolutely no idea why I'm like C'est la vie. When this creature enters, destroy each permanent you control that has the same name as... okay. Yep. Destroy all the things. Yep. But they are still at 3. Oh, they're just going to Fairies for protection. Okay. I mean, works for me. There's no reason for them to do that. Like, actual factual no reason. I like dropping Howler here. That's 9 damage. That's 9 damage right now. I think I'm grabbing basic, playing Thopter Copter and passing. If I really wanted to do that brainstorm spot. 7. Okay, yep, you have Herald's Horn, sure. I can use the Royal Scions to get First Strike and Trample. I've got Shove Aside, Cycle, Draw, and then Discard. I should be able to push through quite a bit of damage this next turn. Alright, yep. They have all of their cost reducers online. That would have been amazing with the One Ring. Righteous Valkyrie, that is theoretically a problem, actually. Because now replaying another Angel does buy them quite a bit of buffer. Are they going to get greedy? Oh, they are. Yep, yep, yep. I mean, I don't know if this is like greedy. Alright, my turn. Gets at the Otter. Oh, wait, let's think about how much mana we have here. I have Lightning Axe. This is a... I can cast this as a sorcery, so that doesn't do a whole lot. I absolutely use the Scions. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. 8 mana. Scions is 3, 6. Cycling this is 2, so I can't actually do that. It's gonna be Lightning Axe. And then Mako, so that way I can pilot the copter. Alright, I like that. Then First Strike and Trample on Howler. Here's Mako. Go ahead and crew up the Smuggler's Copter. Go ahead and go to combat. Trigger the copter, take action, discard. And then we're going to see exactly Ooh, I love discard. And then I don't have to do anything else currently. This is just lethal. There we go. Jeech. Let's see. Blocking the copter makes sense. It's absolutely free to do that. I'm trying to think if I would have punched through if they didn't, right? That was a 5-5. This is also a 5-5. Okay, this is a draw. Okay. This would have been 11. So currently dealing 6 damage. Yeah, I would have gotten there if the Prismari command resolves. But if they have like a Mana Tithe or something and they counter this, then they get to hang on and live, and then I die on the crack back. Very surprisingly close game, actually. Surprisingly close game. The One Ring did a lot of work for them. Oh, and we're already at 3 o'clock? Alright. Oh, we even completed the cash challenge. Let's go ahead, we'll crack this back, and then we'll play some Final Fantasy. Got a Shattered Sanctum. Well, how am I doing on, like, hands, actually? Let's see. Put this at land. Make it rares. Make it rares I have. Untapped 2 or more. What? That's not right. I didn't have a... I don't have another filter on here, do I? And there's tapped unless 2 or more. Okay. Tapped. Okay, so if we're looking at... I've got 4 copies Deserted Beach, Shipwreck Marsh. I've got quite a few of these. I'm pretty maxed out on Shadow Sync. That's the other thing too. At some point, because they do have a few of these designs that they like to reuse, I am going to have enough that these are just going to turn into free wildcards. That's probably not going to be for like another few years at least, but at least right now. Dual lands. These dual lands are building very nicely. Which is, you know, something that's really only relevant if I decide to play a 60 card format. Alright, Final Fantasy time. We've got Dragon Quest coming up next month. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to take the time between now and next month to play through the new patch stuff. Thank you, Fron, for the Hydrate Redeem. I know that was like 12 minutes ago, but thank you. I'm glad that Captain Howler was doing. I think the last time I tried playing Captain Howler, he was struggling quite a bit. Just felt really slow. Doing a bit of a retuning probably helped a bit. That deck where maybe I want just a wee bit more mana. It's fun. Like an Urza. I keep looking at the Urza Power Stone Prodigy. He loots through cards, but then if you discard artifacts, he makes Power Stone tokens. And I keep looking at that, and I like Power Stone. But you can also get that from like a X Stone or 5. I should not brawl stuff. Okay, so we've got plenty of stuff on our Wondrous Tales. You know the drill. Also, let's take a look at the brand new season. Oh, this is the conduct. Viking. Oh shit! It's actual clothes here this time, not a mount. All right, yeah, we're gonna have to make sure we're doing daily PvP. Let's go do Moogle chores. We'll do daily PvP, and then anything else that we have afterwards that goes into the fill out the rest of the time slot bracket. So chat, if you weren't around for the beginning of stream when I made the announcement, tomorrow's going to be a special day. Tomorrow's going to be a special, we are debuting our wife stream. Excited. He's going to play Night Rain with me for like an hour. I think an hour is probably about right for playing a game with friends. I need to brush up on exactly how I play Night Rain. I mean, I think I've only ever played the once. It was the one time when Prawn, Lila, and I were messing around, doing just a run through to figure out exactly how things worked. Getting used to like the routing and where you're supposed to go as the Fortnite storm closes in. That's gonna take some getting used to. Well, I'm so excited to like play the Recluse because she's just like, you know, a ready-made mage. And one of the things I really wanted to do when I got to Elden Ring was to play a mage. Like, I've still got that account I was playing with Prawn Online. Kind of like the idea of either going like pure mage or else replaying with Amelia. Doing Spellblade. What are you doing? What are you doing, Fran? You tell me. Tell me what you're doing. I might be your boss quote, but I'm also not your boss quote. Wife's really excited to play the Archer. Archer, from what she's told me, is not a weapon that's like good in Elden Ring or like most Souls games. That's something about you doing something? Did I? I don't remember saying anything like that. Like, as far as I know, you're always doing something, but I don't know that I commented on anything that you were doing in particular. Were you just like passively listening to me in the background as you come home, and then just like zoning out, and then like you heard your name mentioned, and you're like, wait, what? You're not texting and driving, are you? That's dangerous. Heard wrong then? Maybe. Yeah, you got it. Oh my god, Fran, don't text and drive at the same time. That's dangerous. Like, not even when you're sitting in traffic. Remember, kids, don't be like Uncle Fran. Don't drive and text. That's how you get into accidents. That's how you make your friends sad because you got sent to the hospital. That's how you find out that your friends are actually your enemies because they were actually just waiting for your perfect downfall so they can, you know, assassinate you the second that you're unconscious in the bedroom tile while they whistle. You know what I'm talking about? It was Kill Bill. It was Kill Bill that I was quoting there. I guess not quoting, but like, you know, that's where the bit is from. Anyway, no, from what I was talking about was Night Rain plans with my wife. And being like, I enjoyed the time that I played seamless co-op with Lila and Franz, and that's probably what you heard. but I'm looking forward to Night Rain because Night Rain just feels like a more curated experience to experience the Elden Ring stuff. Like it's not Elden Ring stuff. It ostensibly is not, but like the multiplayer experience of playing something like Elden Ring. Like everything that I've heard from people playing Night Rain is that yeah, Night Rain's like really good. I think I have some issues of it, and then like I've got my 149th run planned with some friends tomorrow. Just I've heard nothing but glowing praise for Night Rain as a multiplayer experience, and we had plans to play it from like the moment it was announced because me, Fran, and Lila were already doing seamless co-op, and this just seemed like easier seamless co-op. But then things happened and we never got around to actually like doing Night Rain streaming between me, Lila, and Franz. But since then, they have added a 2-player mode to Night Rain. So now my wife and I can play Night Rain. And yes, sometimes another friend might join us, like a Fran. And then we can still do 3-player Night Rain. I really like the assertion that Night Rain is less of a roguelike and more of a speedrun type game, because then that means that really rewards familiarity and mastery. I've been looking over a couple of the guides. I've been looking at the tips that say, when you're playing as the Recluse, don't forget to use the draw feature so that way you can draw in elements to get all the stuff you need to cast your spells, including the occasional cocktail. Very exciting stuff. But also make sure that you hit all those wizard towers. Go hit the wizard towers. They have the spell upgrades. They have the stabs that you want and need. Good shit. I'm not gonna look up like the hardcore in-depth guys. I did when Night Rain first came out, and I thought that we were gonna be playing with friends a little sooner. But since I did not get a chance to actually like put that into practice, I fell out. I am still weirdly self-conscious about playing online with Ring. Like, you'd think Final Fantasy XIV would have cured me of that, but no, actually. If anything, it probably got worse after they introduced the duty support, and I was like, oh, I don't actually have to play through the story stuff with the randoms. I can actually just bring in my boy, Estinkian. He can just hang out with me. Should be the... Where are we on for rep? It's gonna be 2 more days. Gonna be 2 more days, so I should be able to do the next part of the leg offline, if I remember correctly. And we can get a cute. How close is Dragoon to 71? Pretty close. We get the Dragoon PvP here. That gets us to 70, and then the Wondrous Tales gets us halfway to 71. Be tempted by the Alliance Raid. The Alliance Raid is a lie. Go hang out at the Zenith. Because you don't actually know if we're gonna be queuing in immediately or not. It's like the second day of the patch, everyone's doing MSQ, everyone's playing the new Alliance rollout. That's probably why there's a DPS for the Alliance rollout, but it's not actually an Alliance rollout that I can access. Wife and I are gonna do a practice run of Night Rain tonight. Just a one, like, not even just to like figure out the setup, even though that is a big part of it. It's also going to be making sure that she can play comfortably on my husband's computer. It's going to be to make sure that we are familiar with the game so we're not getting lost and frustrated. You know, just typical autism prep stuff. I keep thinking about how Jess, when in the early collabs of V Chronicle, we had Jess being like, "Nope, I'm going in completely blind, so that way everyone can get my authentic first experiences." And I remember just being like, Jess, please, I want to hit the ground running here. I want everyone to have like a, you know, at least a vague idea of like what we're supposed to be doing. Now, granted, I didn't do that with Raft, but I did watch at least a couple of streams of Raft from like other people, so I had a rough idea of what to expect rather than trying to go in blind. Oh wait, crunchy, so crunchy. By the way, I hope that everyone who is currently on the free trial is enjoying Shadowbring's. I really do. They're in late Allegan parts. Okay. I do like the late Allegan bottoms going with the late Allegan tops. The late Allegan stuff is like a good use of the free glamour system I have in place now. Oh, that's right. I still need to move over. Well, that's just like random that I don't mind doing off stream. Not like the super grindy stuff. No, that's just like meticulous autistic sorting, you know? Alright. Time to get our sauce. I don't know when I've been told there'll be snow all year. Have a holly jolly patch day. And when you click on MSQ, please enjoy a 5-minute cutscene telling you what to do. Navigating politics can actually be fun when it's for a nation that has already won the war of freedom and liberty, stopping crashes in their streets. That's right, now that we've beaten Garlemald, we can be friends. Yeah, yeah, Final Fantasy is just, kind of idealist. People call Turiel idealistic, but like, come on, we are factually treating Garlemald with a lot more grace than certain other imperialist countries got when they lost their war. Which honestly, I prefer, you know, recognizing that the citizenry are gonna have to live and rebuild this. I would prefer, you know, putting war crimes of the past aside and just moving on. I think Final Fantasy XIV spent a lot of time kind of explaining why just constant revenge is not a good thing that one should want to strive for. You don't need to exact total revenge on Garlemald. They just got to pay some reparations once their economy's back on track. But maybe Anyway, what are we doing here? We're almost certainly gonna need to go and clear off all of the pokers there. Remember, kids, you don't actually want to fight on the point. You want to fight away from the point while you have control, so that way they can't just like steal control and interrupt your pacing for a bit. Crazy, I know. Like, I guess you used to hear that all the time in Overwatch, right? Like, they even have voice commands that are like, get on the point, attack the point, get on the point, move the payload, all that fun stuff. If you're on like a thing of randoms, yeah, you kind of actually kind of coordinate around. That's probably like the safest. But when you're calmed up and you've got like a full stack, you do start playing your tactics around. Okay, since we're currently pushing the payload, we actually want to like fight them ahead of time. We want to like beat them a little bit, and we want to win that team fight while we are making progress on this payload. All right, I feel like I was supposed to name some of these myself, but I just can't seem to remember. Oh well. Hey, wife. Are you excited for tomorrow? So preemptively excited? A little apprehensive? Okay. Okay. You gotta promise to be nice to my wife. You gotta laugh. You are obligated to laugh at all of her jokes. You gotta call her like, you know, the best kitty in the world. Gotta help reassure her. Tomorrow, right? Tomorrow. You know, this thing is something that I keep seeing. Couples. When someone streams and they know that their partner has like some overlap interest in the stuff that they want to stream, right? Like if there's someone who really wants to stream like some multiplayer stuff, or even know that their partner has some expertise that come on the show. Basically, that they know that their partner is a very, very special little being to be treasured and shown off to the world. And like, at some point, in an effort to cross-pollinate and like share in the love, someone's gonna try and get the off-stream partner to get on stream. It would ostensibly have to be like someone who just like does not know video gaming or anything at all. Get on, and even then, like, I guess obviously it's not every couple that does. Every once in a while, I just see like, I got my dad to play Dark Souls, or you know, Raz is famous. I got the lady who lives in my house to play video games and stuff like that. You know, even just like getting non-gamers to do gamer stuff as like stream material. The whole family can get milk, can get farmed for content, man. Oh wait, did we lose middle? We lost middle. Okay. And like, I have subtly been, I have been not so subtly trying to gauge out wife's interest. I love doing stuff with her. If I can do stream stuff with my wife, well then one, that makes the streaming a lot more fun. And two, it lets me stream some stuff that I've been wanting to stream for a while that I wouldn't be able to stream. Just for like, you know, reasons. Oh, I'm getting swarmed. Friday and Raven shoot together. Always looks fun when they do it. Actually, there is just like a whole genre of stuff that becomes available if my wife more comfortable with streaming. Like, we can play It Takes Two, we can play Split Fiction, we can play the bomb game, or like Cut the Wire, where everyone dies or something like that. One where you're just like grabbing instructions to each other. Just fun, silly stuff like that. And there's also just like games that happen to have co-op that aren't like necessarily co-op, but I like playing them best as co-op. Things like Path of Exile 2. I think my wife's already completed like the first couple thirds of the game. She has completed the entire game, she confirms. But like, you know, I was having the most fun playing it when I was playing with her. Especially since like Path of Exile is one of those games where you can actually go like super deep on it. It's very much you spend a lot of time planning things out in spreadsheets, but then the game itself is just like, you know, putting theory into practice. And that is not a type of game that I'm opposed to, but but Path of Exile 2 is definitely not the one that I want to put that much time into. At least not right now. Like, I've already got like 2 games taking up all that data space. Yep, I'm dead. Okay, we are... Oh, God, we are behind. I didn't even notice. We're like half the score of everyone else. Oh, well, we're doing this for the XP. We're still trying our best, but we're ultimately doing this for the XP, so I'm already a winner. You got like a small team fight over here. Most of everyone's on that reminds me. I might need to go. Oh, that's right. I need to make a new thumbnail. Oh, thank God we got that one. I didn't even have a chance. Just quick. Just for like some. Nope. All right. Night rain, chat. Night rain. Night rain. Night rain. Night rain. Night rain. So excited to finally play rain. Like I really want to play the doll. I really want to play the doll that summons a bunch of giant JoJo spirit stands. That shit, I love that shit so much. Recluse is also really cool. Duchess is really cool because Duchess is looks very Bloodborne aesthetic. I tried the Wilder. I basically have like the Night Rain tag on follow for Tumblr, so I keep seeing fan art of all the different characters that they've released, and I'm just like, one in. I want in. One in. Ah, shit. Don't you want to bet that the Reds are already... Yep, they've already secured the plateau. Yep. Once again, remind ourselves we are in it for the XP. Draft was a lot of fun. We haven't had like a consistent multiplayer group game that we've streamed since Red. Admittedly, we do have a consistent multiplayer group that we are currently working through, albeit quite slowly, since we are playing BG3 with Mike, Prawn, and Jess. That's really nice. But that's all. That one's also just like really subject to schedule. We have like the day that we know that we like to schedule for if everyone can make it. But then, you know, the schedule isn't always lining up. And then it feels awful because frequently it's because either me or wife have something that came up. Disability is a bitch. And it's like, I want to play the video game with my friends, but I can't. Because my body said no. Yeah. You might not think that you're, but like, think about how many of the fun things that you're doing, that you could be doing, if only your body, brain weren't protesting. That is the real. That is the real mark of Hey, we're catching up. If we can, like... I was gonna say, take out yellow, but that's just... Ah, 14. Excellent. You knock out the trials. Oh, we can definitely knock out the truck. Maybe a dungeon and... Not bad. Come on, Chad. You knew what I was. You knew what I was. Glamaholic. Warden's tank. Oh, that's the Azima. Okay, that's the Azima pants. Warden's thigh boots. Okay. Took the Warden's gloves, pants, and legs. Story Spinner's chest wrap. No. I probably remove that. You add like swing. I can see that working out. Alright. I'm gonna do the good news is, if Evercold is coming out this January, Ron and I will probably have finished Stormblood by then. But also, I don't really need to worry about solo content. Honestly, if you think about it, the time that you're going to be doing solo content most often in Final Fantasy really is just from Reborn in Heavensward. Not just like partly because I think the more experienced players are just kind of exhausted of doing that content specifically. But if you talk about the trials and the raids and stuff, they really pick up starting Stormblood. And there's some really good stuff that you can get starting Stormblood in terms of like glams. So, you know, Heavensward really is just kind of like the beginning part 2. Go beat up. Gotta love the occasional free company shout recruiting. Especially when they're ERP. I'm trying to think about the last time I played my wife on co-op. I want to say it was... Well, I think it was ostensibly Path of Exile 2. Wife and I have played a few different games that have co-op together, but it was really more just like sampling these games. These are cool games that my wife was reminded of, or that she found, stuff like that. Stuff that would actually make for really fantastic stream content, now that I think about it. I can't wait to revisit some of that. But I think the last time that we just like played a game through together was River City. Unfortunately, like back then, I was still having my my autistic tantrums a little bit. I was kind of grouching about the fact that it was like, the movement's so slow, I don't like that I have to be on the exact plane of existence as the other enemy in order to actually hit them. Music's an absolute fucking bop, though. Gotta go beat up the wife. But all those other side games, I think we tried Tales, or at least like the version that got brought over to the freaking arcade cabinet. That would be some really fun stuff to run. Kind of depends on what kind of. Also, like the size of the computer that we have. I don't have forever. I'm still gonna need to get that hard drive. Ron has said that he's gonna be sending us an extra hard drive that he does not have. That is very much appreciated. That's huge. It's like just like actually huge. I don't know how good it's gonna be at holding extra like game storage, but we will absolutely have a use for it. Especially as we set up our server, personal or home server. Huh. 22, that was a little... We have... Titan. Titan can get a little dicey. It's not like... It's not as hard as Ifrit, but like, Ifrit, Titan doesn't fuck around. Honestly, so like, here's the thing, right? Lila has already said that she would love to do a Pokemon Fusion Spirit Link Nuzlocke. I mean, I guess calling it a Spirit Link Nuzlocke is okay. Hear me out. Hear me out here. Lila has already said that she would love to do this. Lila has unfortunately had a lot of life stuff happening to her. However, I have also wanted to do a Spirit Link with my wife. And now I get a chance to do it. This is great. Great. It's just unfortunate that, you know, for all of my wife's favorite Pokemon, we'll just never be able to use a Black Off. But also, like, my wife and I want to do, or rather, I guess I want to do multi-battle doubles with my wife in like Pokemon doubles. Like, my wife is down for that, but that's like something that I'm excited for. Specifically me. This is the thing that I brought up. This is the thing I am like saying to her in bed as she's trying to turn over and sleep. Sure, we can talk about that tomorrow, please. Just go to bed. If you're talking about things that we just like do together, we started doing Two-Headed Giant for pre-release rather than the you know, just regular pre-release stuff where you go and you play and like you talk to your friends and you're like, yeah, I got this in my pool, and they're like, cool, I got that in my pool, and like, you know, you ask each other for help, but ostensibly when you get to the games themselves, you're playing alone, and then you beat up in between rounds, and you're like, yeah, he beat my ass, and then they're like, yeah, my ass got beat by this one rare bomb, and then you got that one friend that's like, well, actually, I cleared mine really easily to get on my bubble. Sometimes my wife and I would take turns in terms of who was what in that scenario. But when the Final Fantasy set came out, like, first of all, we played Final Fantasy 14 together, right? Like, we met up in a realm of Born. We fell in love and got married in Heaven for it. And we played through the rest of the game together. Like, Final Fantasy 14, even though I'm playing Final Fantasy 14 with Ron right now on Kimura, like, I still think of it as the game that I played with her. That is the bulk of the majority of my thoughts and memories regarding that. Part of why it's so fun. Because when we were living apart, we had Final Fantasy 14 to be in each other's brain. So when Final Fantasy, the Magic set came out, we said, actually, you know what? Let's do this as two-headed. And it was great. I made hero tokens of our warriors of light. Like, yeah, I made one of Gamora, but I also made one of Hiroko, and I made one for both of my wife's characters and Micah. That was great. And that just kind of started the tradition of, actually, you know what? When we go to a pre-release, we are playing two-headed. And like we had some friction to work through because we were both so used to playing on our own and like, you know, having our exact ways of wanting to play. But now we're actually balancing each other out really good, and we're watching out for each other, and we're reminding each other, wait, no, you have this card, you can use that, and be like, oh right, yeah, I can counter that spell actually before they resolve it. And you know, except for that one Edge of Eternity's game where we got destroyed because the mill equal to life total card is actually just like an auto win button and two-headed. Like, aside from that, they've been amazing experiences. And that's just so special to me because I have not had like a friend or partner I could actually reliably have that type of, so precious to me. 341, that's enough time to get a leveling roll out of the way. We are going to do a leveling roulette because on the Wondrous Tales we've got 2 squares for all the 11 dungeons. So, you know, min-max where we can. If I can get that kind of experience, just like on a more daily basis, I'd be pretty happy. Wife and I have tried to play more casually in like our own time, but between me needing to de-stem, what in the? Huh? It's the actual factual Storm Lieutenant. Got all the level 50 warrior gear. So like between, oh, and he has like an actual portrait set up too. His name is Town Guysman. Hold on, I need to see this guy's inventory plate. Oh shit, I am actually on dot duty. Oh my god, am I actually gonna have to, oh my god, I need to actually use the effect? That's, I didn't register that we were actually in Copperbell Mines right now. Hold on. Aspirin 2 and ibuprofen 3. What happened? Huh. The lizard girls are slapping each other. Well, this is probably the most baby sprout party that I've ever seen, but oh my god, they don't even have job stones yet. So like, they are absolutely playing through this dungeon for like the first time. I don't have that much to do. Like, even just like endgame Realm Reborn stuff, this guy's already like overgeared for the level. I'm now doing my best Pictomancer impression. But at least we got hoppers. You know you got a good party when like they're willing to hop with you. Alright. Guy Townsman is feeling particularly frisky today. Okay, never mind. He's not going for like a full pool. Itch for an Astro at this level, probably about right. Although I know for a fact that the Thaumaturge would probably like a bigger pool. Unless, like, for whatever reason, this happens to be like actual factual sprouts and not just random side RP accounts. The good news is that even at like level 20, I can just overheal to compensate for anything else. And the dots will do like pretty much all the work along with the DPS. I don't even get my aspect event back not until level 34. They mentioned that there's going to be 2 different modes to play Final Fantasy going forward. There's going to be Reborn mode and Evolve mode. And it's basically, Reborn mode is the legacy. You have a hotbar full of 10,000 buttons. And then there's going to be an Evolved form, which is basically a reworked, streamlined version of the job. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the version that's being developed with mobile in mind, because at some point, like, phones are powerful enough to handle the demands of a lower scale MMO like this, right? Like, at what point is a phone more powerful than a PS4 basically? Wow, that tank buster barely busted my tank at all. And like, yeah, I'll go ahead and go to like, oops. I don't have an AOS with me. I don't have a co-healer. That's in charge of all actual like heal. Although theoretically, I could play this with just like a locked view, as long as I'm already like tab targeted. No real issue. How much damage am I actually doing? Like 115, I think. 87. 115, like, oh no, 115 was like a crit. Yeah, I'm doing like 80 damage. I will absolutely greet the shit out of it. I don't care if there are sprouts in there. I've got seals and retainers to pay for. They say that the that Viper and Pictomancer are basically like what Evolved mode is going to look like. Spraying to each other again. Damn. You can't see the party chat, but like, just know that we got the tank being like a decently good guy and saying that he loves the Headache Twins, and they both just go :D. Actually, hold on. I need to check this out now. What's your adventure plate like? Let's take ibuprofen together. Just here to look at plates. Okay, what about aspirin? Let's take aspirin together. Just here to stalk your plates. I have to. This is a wonderful game. Final Fantasy XIV is a wonderful game because sometimes you just get people who are just so silly. But where's the first one? Because this is aspirin 2 and ibuprofen 3, so like, or are the numbers the dosage? You know, maybe I should not have gone on auto walk and accidentally pulled the start because now I look like the asshole. But this would be why I don't necessarily type a lot in dungeons. I don't know. Even when I know that it's not going to be like a lot of damage, I like doing the good job. I like doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh god. And then after we finish this, yeah, after we finish the dungeon, it'll be time to close things out. And I am so excited for wife streaming tomorrow. You have no idea how excited I am for wife streaming tomorrow. But tomorrow you're gonna see it. Let's see it. I'm gonna turn into to wife girl. I thought I need to use all the room. Well, this guy going for maximum overdrive. That's bad. That is upset. Oh. Everyone is coming to party here. Get a dot? Get a dot? Get a dot? Get a dot? Okay, that wasn't like nearly as bad as I thought it was gonna be. These dungeons just don't punch like they used to. Copper Bell Mines, after all. What do I have to be worried about? What am I gonna chat? What am I gonna do today? What am I gonna do today? I need to after stream today. I need to go decompress for a little bit. Wife and I are gonna do some night room practice for sure at some point today, but I also need to figure out what I'm gonna do for dinner. There was a quote that there was something that Northern Lion said in one of his streams lately that really like resonates with this feeling. It's everything is happening, and also we have to figure out what dinner is. I think that's something that Kate said actually, but no, and Brian was quoting her. And that isn't that just like the thing. Not only do you have to deal with all the bullshit coming up, you have to continue eating. You have to continue eating, and you have to stay alive because, you know, eating is the privilege of the living. I spent all today working on my husband's breakfast meals, but I don't know how much capacity I have to cook. I don't know what it is I want to cook, even with that. Like, probably fine to have a sandwich. I don't want to like force husband to have chicken fingers twice in a row. Because normally what happens is that on Sunday we'll have a pizza, and then like while wife and I are having some sort of pizza thing. Well, actually, I'm going to change things. Yay! Double player accommodation. Okay, real quick, let's go ahead and break some stuff down. What do we get? A bunch of clusters. Folks, we are nearing the end of the stream, and some of you might know we have a Lead the Raid redeem. If you know anyone who's cool, if you know anyone who, you know, Maybe they play Magic. Maybe they play Final Fantasy. Maybe they're cool because they're trans. Maybe they're cool because they're, you know, like me. They're mentally ill. You know, maybe there's just something cool that you want to introduce our friends and family to. Go ahead and redeem that. Otherwise, we're just going to go ahead and rate it to anyone that we happen to be following that is current. And as a reminder, like, you know, you weren't already aware. Like, if you basically were not listening at all during the past hour or so, tomorrow we are going to be trying our hand at some wife streaming. Really looking forward to that. And then on Friday, we're going to be back with some Final Fantasy Friday. Really taking a look. If you're over on the YouTube side, thank you all so much for hanging out. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Don't forget to leave a like on the stream. Don't forget to subscribe or maybe share the stream with some friends that you think would enjoy that. And we'll catch you over on the Twitch side. Whoop. Meanwhile, over on the Twitch side, quick look who's current. Kate is